Here we go, folks. It's Lauren with the TMF Podcast. Look, before I get started, if you like the content, hit the like button or hit the subscribe button or the bell. If you don't like the content, also hit that shit. And I want you to tell me what you don't like about my videos or what you don't like about what I have to say about a particular topic or stock or whatever. Let's talk about it. That's what we're here for. I'm here to engage with you guys. So if you leave me a comment, I will respond to it and we can have a dialogue because I like it. I like talking about it and maybe we'll learn something from each other. So keep that in mind. If you watch this and you're like, I hate them. Cool. Like it, dislike it, leave a comment. Let's party. Let's talk about it. Right now, we're going to talk about the one thing that I get more and more shit on comments than anything else, which is AMC stock. And I get the comments because I keep saying the same thing and the stock keeps proving me right. And so I get it. I understand you don't want to sell your shares. I understand you're holding to screw the hedgies. I understand you own the float. I understand all of these things that you see every day on your YouTube screen, on your thumbnails, on all your videos. Oh, look, here's the problem I have with it. AMC stock can do no wrong. Holding it can do no wrong. It costs you nothing to hold it. That is true and also false at the same time. Let's keep this in mind. If you bought AMC stock at $8 a share, $5 a share, $2 a share, and you're sitting at 55, 65 where it's at right now, it doesn't cost you anything to hold it. You are deep in the money. You're up, and I had comments on there. Oh, I'm up 600% in the month, in the year. Right, I get it. I understand. The stock is trading much higher than it used to be. I get it. I do. Understand me when I say the stock has not had a squeeze. It had a gamma squeeze. We did have a gamma squeeze, which rocketed it from like 35 to 70 something dollars. And that was awesome. That was an awesome ride. I was part of that. I liked it. And then I got sucked into the same belief that all the apes have right now, which is it's going to 100, it's going above 100, it's going to short squeeze, it has to, because that's all I heard. It's the only thing that I heard every single day. I woke up and it was on my feed, it was on my social media, it's on the news, on my Google News feed. AMC short squeeze, hedge funds lose money, this, blah, blah, blah. We own the float. And here's the reality. AMC is sitting in the 50s, which is high for this stock. And I put it out like a week and a half ago that I thought, you know what? If I was a hedge fund, what would I do? If I was them, what's the course of action? Because think about this. They want you to sell your stock. They need you to sell your stock because they're shorting it. And this is true, but also Citadel has a long position in shares and they're buying options. And the bigger part of the problem is you have no idea. You have zero idea. You do not know. You don't have any clue. Let's make this very clear. You have no idea what their position is. Zero. You are guessing. You know that if they borrow shares, they're paying interest on borrowed shares. You know what the interest rate is on that. You have no idea how many shares each hedge fund borrows. You have no idea how many shares they've traded, sold. You don't know if they've bought calls or puts or played spreads. You presume that every hedge fund shorts the stock into Middle Earth. They want it to go down to zero. That is your presumption. My theory is that in the beginning, they shorted the shit out of it. When we're talking $12, $15, $20. They're shorting it, and that's reasonable to go from 20 to 5. They can do that. They did it once. They could do it again. And what happened is more people bought AMC stock and held it, right? And so eventually they covered some, and it got up. And I thought to myself, if this stock hits 30, because it was at $5. If it hits 30, that's like 6x. That could trigger a short squeeze. Okay. So we passed 30, no short squeeze. 35, 40, no short squeeze. Like, what in the hell? Like, okay. So that's interesting. Then we had that 118% day, and that was awesome. But still not a short squeeze because the data, and keep in mind, we have to understand that when it happens, we will not have confirmation that's happened for 2 or 3 days after it has happened because you don't have the data to support what happened. You have no idea. It's T2. So we look at it and go, oh man, it ran up. Oh, they're covering. And it was exciting because we don't know what's happening. We have no effing idea what's happening. But the speculation is shorts are covering, blah, blah, blah. It really just gamma squeezed. Man, look, if it closed at $73, every single call option in the money, that was crazy to see. The next day, they murdered the gamma squeeze option by releasing a ton, doubling the options chain to 145. After that, the stock had no chance of getting above that $75 mark again. Just wasn't going to happen, not on a gamma squeeze. So now we're looking at a short position. So my theory is that whoever's shorting it is going to cover on the way up and then retake that position. They're going to recycle their shares, right? So why would you buy them at $65 or $70 and hope to sell them back at 12 when you know it's not going back that low? It makes more sense to just start taking smaller losses and then playing the game a little different. Let's just sell a bunch of covered calls, covered puts. Let's just sell all these option chains because the options are so volatile, and it was such a easy ride up that if we can keep the stock between these two levels, then we can burn the options because all we have to do is keep it from being too volatile in either direction, and the options aren't going to pay out. And I'm going to show you on here why. Let me pull up an account here that we can look at. Give me a second. And we're going to double down on this just so I can show you what I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to say that I'm being bearish or whatever. I'm not saying AMC is going back to $10. It's not what I'm trying to say here. However, I'm going to put this up, and that should be on my screen here in just a second. Okay. These are the options chain for this week, right? AMC is currently trading 55.60. So if we look at the ones that are closest to the current share price, the $55, the $56 strike price, you now have 4 days to hit the break-even price of $62.61 respectively. That's a pretty good size move, right? That's a $6 move, a 10 to 11% move in the upside on the calls. And if we go to the put side, we need to hit in the same one, $56, $55 strikes. We need to hit $49 on the downside, 10, 11%. That's a pretty sizable jump. And I know what you're saying. Oh, AMC, it moves. We've seen this just 2 days ago. You just saw it go up and 17% and 15%. But here's the problem. These guys aren't selling. They're not selling on this immediate uptrend because we believe that it's going to continue to go up. And the options chain, that's just the closest ones, mind you, right? And those are, that's $600, $700 contract. And if we want to get something that's closer to in the money, we're going to be spending a good chunk more. If we want something that's in the break-even price of 55 on a call, we're going to spend almost $2,000, right? Almost $2,000 for one that expires, that it doesn't have to move that far. That's a pretty good chunk, right, on the options chain. And you've got guys buying these 145 strikes. There's 50,000 contracts right now betting AMC hits 145 by Friday. That is a lot of contracts that will expire worthless. And I say this, and it's happened for 3 weeks in a row. And I've told you, I lost my ass on 145 strikes, bought into it, man. Look, it's happened. I YOLO'd it because I was supporting it. And I'm not putting out these videos because I lost money on AMC. I owned the fact that I said, send it. Because if it played out, it would have played out great. And if it didn't, it is what it is. And I should have sold them the day after and just taken, the 40% L or whatever. But look, man, I held with you guys. And it was a dumb thing to do for me. Now, when you say it doesn't cost you anything to hold, AMC currently, big old head and shoulders on the daily. That was a 30-minute. The daily still looks bullish. All right, we could draw some lines. I can be like everyone else, and we can just draw some lines and go, it's going way up. But at the same time, it could also form these head and shoulders and trade sideways. And I think that's what it's going to do. And it gives you hope. We see a little bit of hope every time, and AMC can do no wrong. This is your big run up. Down, up, down, up. And these are higher high. Well, they're higher lows. I won't say they're higher highs because they're really not quite getting the higher highs, but they are higher lows. And at any time, the floor can just fall out of this thing. You have to understand that. And so I'm just going to put it out there. If you're trading options on AMC, super scary. I have been trading options in other stocks that don't have to move so far, and they pay out big money. AMC is not that stock right now. The volatility is too high. It's too much hype. And at any moment, this thing could fall flat on its face. I think they don't want it to fall flat on its face. I think they want it to trade completely sideways. That makes the most sense to me. When we look at it here, you can go, oh, that's not sideways. We can draw a box around it, and we can put baby in a box. And we can see that it draws completely friggin' sideways right now. I've got a friggin' box in here somewhere. But yeah, that's my take on what's happening right now. It's staying within this line. It's like a $10 line, which is a solid 12, 15% difference for AMC. And every time you get a loss of 6%, like we had today, know it takes 10% to get back to where you fell from. So now you need a 10% day. And every time you get one, you get a little bit more excited. I get it. But I'm going to keep putting these out here until I see a pattern that changes. Because right now, I'm not seeing it. I don't want this in here. Go away. Try to get that off my screen. I want to see a pattern that changes. And we can go, oh, it's a steady uptrend. Look, let's say it keeps going down like 3-4%. It costs you nothing to hold except 6%. Except on this day, 10%. Except on this day, 15%. Except on this day, right? And you get a little bit back, but you haven't gotten back to 77. What last week I think it touched 62, which was a solid run. It was. And every time I watch the comments, people buy puts, they play the downside. I don't see a lot of people playing the call side of it in the comment section anyway. In the other trading forums that I'm in, no one plays AMC. They're just staying out of it. It's too high risk. Unless you were already in, they're not adding more to the position. It's just too high. You have to believe that AMC is going way above $100 to play this. And I'm just not there with you right now, man. We're going to need to see something else. Every day, like I said, every day, hedgies are screwed. Hedgies have to cover. Hedgies, blah, blah, blah. We have seen no indication that they are doing to do any of that stuff. I'm putting that out there. I just want to be honest with you guys as far as how I see it playing out. I know you are apes, and I know you are hodling, and I know you're adding shares 2, 3, 4 at a time. You're buying them, and you're hodling them. I just want you to be aware that while you're hodling AMC, other stocks are going to space, man. Other stocks are going to fly right by you. And if you're in AMC just to be a part of the movement, I understand. If you're in AMC because you think you're going to retire and you're going to buy a house and you're going to pay off your student loans and you're going to get Lambos, I would highly consider looking at the stock and looking at all the information that we have. You own the float. Lots of shares shorted. Doesn't mean the only way you're getting to these crazy numbers, the only way you're going to get there is if the shorts all cover at once. over like a 2 or 3 day period. They cover 100 million shares. Ask yourself this. Why would they do that? Why would they do that when they don't have to? Meanwhile, other stocks, low float, low volume, rocket ships. So keep your eye out there. If you're in the stock market to make money, keep your eyes open. If you're in AMC because of the movement, I get it. I do. I understand. I just want you to know, I hope you all do well. I hope nobody loses their ass in the stock. And follow me if you want some more content. And leave me comments, man. I don't care if they're mean. I don't care if they're angry. I don't care if they're great. I just care you leave them. And we'll talk about them. So until next time, I'll see you guys tomorrow.